Hey guys, Dawson Marie here, and today I'm filming my labor and delivery story. As you guys know, I gave birth to my baby girl May 30th at 8:30 p.m. She was 7 pounds 2 ounces, 19 inches, and she came exactly on my due date, which was May 30th. So let's start from the beginning. I started early labor Thursday, May 28th. I went to the hospital because I really thought that she was going to come a few days early. So I was so excited. I went to the hospital. They told me I was nothing. Like, my cervix was closed, basically. They said I was, I guess, going through Braxton Hicks, which I thought felt like legit. Like, I thought they were real contractions. So they did my little test or whatever. They said I was fine. They sent me home. So then the next day, Friday, it was getting worse. So these Braxton Hicks were getting worse and worse and worse. Like, first, when they first started, I'm like, okay, these feel like something's happening. But obviously it wasn't. But what I felt, thinking that it was happening, I haven't felt nothing yet. Because when the real contractions came, oh my gosh, like I couldn't walk. Like, I had to stop. And the pain was just like super bad. So I tried to hang in there because I had my appointment, what was it, Friday. I had my appointment and they were just getting so bad. So when I went to my doctor's, I told her, like, my contractions are really bad, and she told me you're in what they call early labor. And basically my doctor's an idiot because she's like, you're not in real labor, this is early labor, like, it's not true labor, go home, like, you're fine, your cervix is closed. I mean, they said Nevaeh lowered, but she was not ready to come out at all. So this was Friday, May 29th. Mind you, my due date was the next day, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like, my cervix is still closed, like, she's not gonna come out. Like, the next day my doctor's like, we're gonna have to induce you on Saturday, and that's what I did not want. I did not want to be induced. So after my appointment, which was at 12 noon, I went home. That whole day, like the rest of the day, it was horrible. Like, my contractions were so bad, and I kept thinking, like, my doctor's missing something. Like, I have to be some centimeters. Like, how is my cervix still closed? Like, this pain is horrible. So I tried to go through the whole day, and because I was going to get induced Saturday morning at 6 a.m. So I'm thinking, okay, let me try to get through this pain into my induction. So it's getting worse and worse. I'm pacing myself. I'm breathing through them. Finally, I probably slept maybe like 5 or 10 minutes the whole day Friday. Like, I did not sleep at all. And I was just thinking, okay, let me just try to, get through this until 6 a.m. I could not. So around 1 something in the morning, they got so bad, like, oh my gosh, I was just like, we have to go to the hospital now. Like, something's happening. So we go to the hospital. I find out I'm 3 centimeters. So basically I was going through true labor, which my dumb doctor said I was going through early labor, and they were Braxton Hicks. Like, I want to slap her. So anyways, yeah, so by the time I got to the hospital, I was already 3 centimeters. So I did not have to get induced. Hallelujah. They still had to give me Pitocin anyways because I was not progressing. I stayed probably at, like, I think I stayed at 6 or 7 centimeters for like 3 hours, like, or 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I don't even know. Like, I was not progressing. So they upped my Pitocin, and I did get the epidural. I'm all for if you want to have your baby natural, but no. So when I got there, I was already 3 centimeters, and I guess if you're 3 centimeters or higher, you can go ahead and get the epidural. But I didn't get the epidural until about 4.5, almost 5 centimeters. So I lasted pretty good handling my contractions. I didn't want nobody touching me. Like, my husband was trying to rub me, my mom was trying to rub me. I'm just like, no, like, just let me lay here and breathe. I did not do no like, this is how I breathe. I just went, no, I went. That's how I breathe. There was no, like, Lamaze. I didn't take Lamaze class. There was no special technique breathing. Me breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth helped my contractions. Perfect. So I was fine. And yeah, so I hung in there until about like 4.5, 5 centimeters, and then I had to get the epidural. So I, called the anesthesia, or I told the nurse. She got the anesthesiologist. The epidural did not hurt initially. Like, when they put it in, I like jumped a little bit because it was just like it's just like a prick. And that was it. They put the catheter in. It was fine. I have no problems at all. I had no problems at all with my epidural during labor. But what sucked is that Nevaeh did not like me laying on one side. So let's say if I was on my left side, she hated me laying on my left side for some reason. So her heart rate would go down and then I had to get oxygen. So for some reason, me having to lay on my right side, the epidural started wearing off on one side. So I could feel my contractions on like my left side. I could feel them, and then my right side would be numb. So I would tell the nurse like the epidural is wearing off, like I can feel my contractions now. And at this time I'm like 6 centimeters or whatever, so they're getting like really intense and I'm starting to feel them. So I'm like, can you guys call the anesthesiologist? Like, can he put some more in here? So yeah, he came back and they put some more on my drip, so I started feeling good. The doctor kept coming back, checking me. I was doing fine. The only thing is I have like a phobia of needles, minus the epidural. I was fine with the epidural, but when they put my IV, as you guys can see, I have like a, oh, you can see like a little, yeah, you can't see, it's like where they put the thing in, I still have the scar and it freaking hurts still. Like when I came home, my whole arm like was sore. And so the dumb lady, she did my IV 3 times. She did it twice. She said it hit a valve or something. She did it a 3rd time and I started to pass out because I'm like not good with needles. So I started like hyperventilating. I was like telling them, can you fan me, give me some water, like I'm passing out. And yeah, so that was dramatic. And then they had to take my blood down here. Then I started passing out again. And I'm just like, really? Like, can I not get through this without passing out? And even the nurse says the same thing. And everybody says this, which is so annoying. Like, you have tattoos. How do you not like needles? Getting a needle stuck in your vein and taking blood out is not the same as a tattoo. FYI. So anyways, so, yeah, so they upped my epidural, my IV. And, I started getting numb again. And, I'm trying to think what else. So I started getting them again. So I was like, I came back, they're like, you're 7 centimeters, you're not progressing or whatever. So they're like, we have to up your Pitocin again. So I'm just like, oh great. So they upped the Pitocin to like, what was it, 14 or 15 or whatever. It was almost at like the most Pitocin you could get. And then, so she left, then they come back and they're like, oh no, before she left, she's like, okay, you're 7, you've been 7 for a while, like we're gonna up it. And then she's like, we're going to check you in an hour. They didn't even come back like an hour. It was like 45 minutes or something. They came back, they're like, okay, you're 10. And I was just like, they're like, okay, like, let's practice push. So we were like practicing pushing or whatever. And they were saying like, okay, you have to do better because for some reason I started the epidural, so I couldn't really feel like my pushing was not doing good. So they're like, okay, we're going to take your epidural off. And I was just like, this is the reason I got the epidural, was so I could not feel anything. And then right when I was going to push, they took my epidural off. So I was so mad. So they took the epidural. They're like, you're not pushing efficiently, whatever. Like, we have to take the epidural off so you can push because she's, like, it's like her head was coming, but then it'll go back in. So they're like, no, we have to turn off. So let me tell you, when they took the epidural off, it was the most horrible. Like, I pretty much should have just had the whole thing natural because that's what happened. I had the epidural all the way to 10 centimeters and then delivered her naturally because I felt everything. I felt the head come out, the shoulders, the legs, everything. Like, it was so horrible, but I did not scream the whole labor. I did not cry the whole labor. At one point, I just was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Because they were just like pushing. I was just like, I can't do it. Because it just hurt so bad. But I got through it. So instead of them just holding my legs and me pushing, they had me and my husband play tug of war. So they gave us like a sheet. My husband was at the end of the bed. I was at this side, and they told me like tug, like he had to pull, and then I had to pull, and then I just had to like push as hard as I could while I was pulling the tug of war thing. So thank God for my doctor telling us to play tug of war because that really helped her come out. So that was good. And yeah, so I delivered her at 8:30, and they had to give me a episiotomy because her head was just not coming out, and that's why they had to turn the epidural off so I could feel my contractions because my pushing was just not helping at all. And so they had to do a episiotomy so her head could come out, and that was, I could not feel when they cut me because I was still, like, I could feel my contractions, but the area down there was still numb to touch. So when she cut me, it was okay. Until after then I felt like the pain, and it was horrible. But and they also had to take Nevaeh out with a vacuum thing because her head was just not coming out at all. So they had to do all that, the episiotomy, the vacuum, just because my pushing was not strong enough and her head did not want to come out. So after that, she came out just fine. and then I delivered the placenta, which wasn't that bad. But once the placenta come on, they push on your stomach. Oh my gosh, that freaking hurt. And she kept doing it over and over, and I'm just like, why do you have to do this to me? Like, so sore. And they're like, yeah, we have to make sure like everything's out and your uterus is going down and blah blah blah. So yeah, so that's my labor and delivery story. Not anything too bad. Like, once I got admitted, I did not get up. I didn't use a birthing ball. I literally stayed on the bed my whole labor. My labor from early labor to finish was 20 hours. So I was in labor for 20 hours. Yeah, I got there, what was it, Saturday at 2? Wait, no. Friday at 2. Oh yeah, my labor started Friday at 2. And then I didn't have her till like 8:30. But either way, it was like 20 hours of labor. And yeah, I think I handled it like a G. My family, my husband's family, my family, they were just so proud of me because they're like, you handled labor like you actually like had kids before. Like, I legit hung in there as long as I could. You know, I didn't complain. I was just breathing through my contractions and everything. So labor wasn't as bad as I thought until I got to the delivery part, and it hurt. And the aftercare, I'm 1 week post-op, so I had my baby a week ago, and the episiotomy, the stitches, I don't know how many stitches I got, but that, to me, that was worse than I don't know what was worse, pushing her out or the episiotomy. The episiotomy was horrible. So if you guys can do like massages down there to prevent yourself from tearing, or do anything where they don't have to cut you, please do, because getting cut down there is not fun. The healing process is horrible. It's already been a week and I'm still not healed yet. They said it could be from 2 to 4 weeks until like the pain goes away and I'm healed. And then of course the lochia, which is, you know, the bleeding, I'm going to be having that for like 4 to 6 weeks. So that's no fun either, because I feel like I'm wearing a diaper every day. So yeah, that's no fun. And then other than that, my stomach has gone down. They told me to do massages once I left the hospital, which I did a little bit, which you guys can see. But right now I'm wearing so I have sweatpants on, you guys, like the comfort of my own home. But anyways, so let me show you guys from the side. So these sweatpants are really not helping. I'm wearing my husband's sweatpants because I just want to be comfortable. But as you guys can see from the side, this is how it looks with my little waist trainer on. So this is how it looks. And I've been wearing this. I just started wearing it, so I waited a week before I wore the waist trainer, as you guys can see. And yeah, and my actual stomach looks like this. So I still look like I'm like 3 months. It's gonna take a while for that to go down, but I am wearing this waist shaper. Hopefully that helps. And yeah, so that's my labor delivery story. I'm trying to think, did I forget anything else? When she came out, I didn't cry. I just was so shocked. And she's just so strong. Like, once they put her on my shoulder, she was lifting her head. She lifted her whole head up by herself. She legit tries to get off of me. Like, she just lifted her head. She's very strong. Like, she was ready to eat right away. I did breastfeed for like the first like 2 days, but I am formula feeding just because she wouldn't latch and my milk wasn't coming out, and we just decided to exclusively breastfeed. So exclusively formula feed. So that's our choice. And yeah, my husband cried, my husband's parents cried, everybody was crying. But yeah, and this is not funny, but when I delivered the placenta, my husband was running. Like, he ran for his life, because I think he was so traumatized that all the blood came out and everything. Like, he ran for his life, and he just was scared because he thought I was going through pain. But I love my husband. So anyways, oh yeah, I don't have my wedding ring on, but I can fit my wedding ring now. I'm so excited. So I think I have like lost a little bit within a week. Like, I know that's crazy, and I don't know if you can lose weight that fast, but I feel like it. So this video is like 15 minutes long. I will have a clip at the end with Nevaeh, because I tried to put her in this video and she was fussy and she did not want to be on camera. So I tried to record that before I started the whole story, because she had just woke up from a nap, and I don't know when she's fussy, because when she's awake, she's either eating or sleeping or peeing or pooping. So yeah, I don't want her crying and acting ratchet on here. So yeah, so there you go. And I'm going to share some pictures below. Hopefully you guys like this video. I hope I didn't forget anything. I'm just trying to make this video while I have time, while he's watching her. And yeah, hopefully you guys like this, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. This is Nevaeh. Hey girl. Hi. What are you doing? Aww. Hey. Nevaeh, look. Hey girl. Hey. What are you doing? Hi baby girl. Hi Nevaeh. She was born May 30th, 8:30 p.m., 7 pounds, 2 ounces. She's so cute. Okay. Babe, what are you doing? So this is my husband and my baby. Okay, let me come around. He just fed her, and now she finally went to sleep. Hey, baby. Her eyes are opening. Hey, baby. Baby and daddy. Okay.
She's cute.
Bye, Nevaeh. She doesn't like it.
Look at that face.
She doesn't like it. Aww.